of Matchday World Cup show. I'm delighted to have with us today a brand newbie, I'd say. We have Ilias, massive Ajax fan from Ajax. It's not Ajax fan TV, but you can
We
introduce,
talk. It's We
obviously.
Talk Ajax, yeah.
Exactly. We talk Ajax. Exactly. I know a few of your friends that had some conversations with some United fans, guys from United View. So big up to you guys. We have our dear Big Steve with us as well.
Yes,
We're starting a little bit early. That's why. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. Good. Nice to see everybody. You okay, Ilyas?
Fine, doing well, man. How are you, Big Steve?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Good to
I'm
have
good.
you on the show. We have
Great,
also
man.
Paulo with us. How you doing, mate?
Good guys, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I'm taking the opportunity, guys, to remind you that you can join the show with us and exchange with us through the FanFest link. You have a little button, sorry, at the bottom where you can click, active your camera, and also your audio, and you can join the show with us. So, guys, wow, what happened in the meantime since we had the conversation? Like madness. That madness. We need to talk about Saudi Arabia. We need to talk about what happened with Japan as well. Obviously, we confirmed, we delivered France. Yeah, very surprised about the Spain result as well. Massive statement from Spain. We're gonna kick off with Ilias actually because he's new on the show. So again, 2-0 victory for the Netherlands. What are your expectations for this World Cup for your country? Are you happy with the result, and do you think you can go far as well?
Yeah, I mean, am I happy? Yeah, obviously I'm happy. We played against the toughest opponent of the group, Senegal. Very difficult opponent, physically very strong, have a massive technique. So yeah, the way we played, not that happy about it, but at the
Hmm,
end, only the result counts, and
fair enough.
especially the first game. So we got the 3 points, and now we move ahead to the next game against Ecuador, which should be on paper a bit easier than Senegal.
But I
So
mean, in this competition, everything
you
on
never
paper
know.
looks
Everything-
easy, but
You never know, indeed. You never
you
know. But
never
we
know
had the
what can
advantage.
happen.
But we have the advantage that we won the first game, so that's a good thing. But yeah, the way we played was not really comfortable with it.
Hmm.
We didn't play the way we should play. Obviously, we had Depay, which is one of our best players in the squad,
Yeah,
injured. He came in the second half. I
yeah.
think the next game he won't play as well. Probably also in the second half we'll
I,
get
I
in.
I had the impression that you struggled a bit, isn't it? Like you
Yeah,
guys are supposed to be, as every World Cup, every Euros, part of the favorites. And what's going on with the Netherlands? Like I don't know. There's always something. Not like England because England recently they reached quite a few finals,
yeah.
Yeah.
but I don't know what's happening. Like there's always something blocking. Like
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you look in the past, in 2010 we reached the final. 2014 we reached the semis, but then yeah, it went all bad. We missed out on the Euros, on the World Cup of 2018.
mhm.
We performed pretty bad in 2020. So yeah, hopefully this is a new start. Louis van Gaal, a great coach,
Yeah,
but unfortunately he is only some sort of like an interim coach.
yeah. Okay.
So Ron Koeman will take over again, and
Oh right.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
as a start of the January, he will be the new coach.
Okay.
But I have more hopes on Louis van Gaal than on Ronald Koeman. But yeah, we'll just have to wait. I'm not really very comfortable on going that far. My prediction would be more or less the quarterfinals.
Okay.
Uh,
Realistic.
anything further than the quarterfinals is a bonus to me.
Okay, fair enough. Big Steve, talk to me, man. You just came back from the Etihad. All right.
Yes.
You had a good evening?
Yeah, obviously Pep Guardiola signed his new contract today, so we've
Wow.
just done a Pep
Yeah.
Guardiola little documentary show in
Nice.
City. City's just spent £1 million on a new studio at the
Wow.
training ground. It was
London.
quite impressive. Yeah, I was a little bit out of my comfort zone because I've never done these proper productions. I just like to
Yeah.
roll with it. I enjoyed it. No, it's good. It airs on Friday. So today's been good. We've had some good football.
Yeah.
Pep signed his new deal. You know what I mean? Man United fans are getting excited, thinking they're getting taken over after believing the Glazers PR stunt. So it's all funny, mate. You know what I mean? It's all good in Manchester at the minute.
Cool. Ty, welcome, mate. Welcome. Good to have you again. Talk to me, man. You watched the games today. What would you say, since we talked last time, what would you say was the most shocking game, most shocking result?
Oh, shocking. If I'm honest, I want to speak on Germany. If my instinct it was to kick in. Big up Steve, by the way. I know you just watch his side show as well, so love every time, Steve, man. To be honest, what did we said about Germany? We spoke about them on the show before they played, and we spoke about this Japan team. Said they could be dangerous, and they were. And do you know what? Do you know what the massive things for me? There's like 3 takeaways when I look at this. First of all, Hansi Flick with the substitutions, taking Musiala and Gundogan off, who I thought was a bright spark in that first half, had a few good chances. Second of all, when you look at the teams and squads, when it gets to the sort of the World Cup and you look at the 70th minute, 80th minute and stuff like that, USA got really tired against Wales because their squad depth.
Yeah.
You look at other teams as well, and you think Japan and Germany, you look at the bench and the depth, you think if Germany made bench subs, you'd think that they're going to grow. Actually, the Japan coach needs credit. I've not seen many people online talking about their subs. Their subs changed the game. 2 goals. You got Matoma being creative as well. I've got to give big credit to Japan, and their energy. The longer that game went on, they look better. And I think I'm not going to say obviously they're going to go deep into the competition. They're just the type of awkward team you don't want to face. But for me, Germany have got problems. I really do. I think Germany have got problems. I was just at Dax's house now, and we're talking about it. And when you look at like the international teams, even like yourself, France and stuff like that, Portugal, even England. When you look at that Germany defense, you look at the midfield other than Gundogan, you look at the attack, Gnabry for me, quite overrated. You've got Havertz, not really played that well in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And then you've got Musiala, who's young, he's 19. Like a lot
He's
of
quality,
pressure.
man. He's quality.
He's quality, but he's the only one really that's standing out. Or you're saying, if you look at top 6 players in the world in each position, Germany don't really have one. Kimmich is good. I get it in a holding midfielder, but he's played right back a lot of his career. So I just think Germany have quite a lot of problems. And today we saw that. And who did they play next? Spain are my wild card. I said it. They're my undercard team.
Yeah, massive statement from Spain today. We were obviously sleeping on them. I remember last time.
I said it, man. Like they should have won the Euros for me, and in the Nations League they got to the final against you boys. So they should go into that game beaten. They should beat. I think they could beat Germany, and that's Germany out. So for me, that's the big result. If you were to ask me my first question on that, I think Germany are the ones that I think people are finally going to wake up and think, do you know what? They've got a few more problems than people think under that coach Hansi Flick. Yeah,
fair enough.
Big up everyone, by the way. Thank you for having me as always, guys.
Yeah, always a pleasure to have you, mate. Paolo, tell me about this Argentina-Saudi Arabia game, mate. That was a complete madness, man. I heard that the king of Saudi Arabia declared a bank holiday for the occasion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. Official bank holiday for the occasion.
I just remember the night before, and I was thinking, I gotta go watch Argentina. I know it was like 10 a.m. or something, but I was like, I need to watch Messi. I was like, I need to see what he's on. I need to see what this Argentina team is on. And I was like, first half, they were quite comfortable. They were creating, they had 3 to 4 offside goals. And I thought this is probably going to end up 3-4-0. And then they scored that absolute banger.
Oh, mate.
Both goals were bangers. Bottom corner.
Quality.
I was absolutely surprised with the way they defended. I thought they were absolutely solid. And what was interesting was in the second half, they just limited Argentina down to set pieces, which Argentina are not comfortable with. Messi, Di Maria, Martinez, they're not really that strong. Yes, Messi can score a free kick here and there, but in terms of aerially, they don't have the players for that. So they just limited them down to that. And sorry to move on so quickly, but even today, I was talking to some of my friends about it. Teams who have been doing well in this tournament, and I'll shout out my friend Jason for this. He's been saying teams who have been playing well are the teams that are pressing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Pressing and counter pressing. So today, if you guys saw the Canada-Belgium game, we were saying that Canada were doing a madness. I thought they should have won.
They deserved way more, man.
They deserved a lot more in that game, and I thought that for me, what I saw, this is the way you beat Belgium. If you have quality players in your team and you press the hell out of their defense, they're gonna get found out because their defense is aging. They're slow. Canada just had that lack of the final ball and the finishing.
If that was what massive save from Courtois again, mate.
Massive save.
But they deserve the penalties, right? Two penalties.
Penalties.
Yeah, ridiculous, man. Really.
I don't know what the referee was smoking because that was definitely, especially that second one as well. That last one, he stepped on his foot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you think? Not trying to create sort of a controversy about the World Cup, but if it's the other way around, or it happens to France, England, Portugal, do you think it's given because they're a big nation? And do you think it's because it's Canada, they just didn't really give it? That's what I think it plays a part sometimes.
You know what's hard as well, though, is that they gave away the first penalty. So the referee said that's a clear penalty. And then it's like the other penalty, the second one was it was probably a few minutes after, I think. And then he was kind of like, even though it's a penalty, he's kind of
I give another one.
You
shouldn't think like that. It should be, for me, when you look at football and the context of it, it's a separate incident. So you just split them apart. You don't link one or the other. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, football is football. You could get 5 penalties in the game. If someone's creative 1v1 and he gets brought down 5 times, it's 5 penalties. That's just the art of tackling. You either get the ball or you don't. And they didn't get the ball. I think like Elias, that Canada were very unlucky. I think they shouldn't come out of that game deflated. They should use that as sort of confidence to say, do you know what? We haven't been in the World Cup for 34 years. We can give it a good go here because they're in the group with Croatia.
Do you know what? Do you know what, Ty? Do you know what? I drew like Canada in the sweepstake with DR, etc. I wanted like to buy some kits of Canada. I went on the Nike website, and apparently there's nothing because they did not prepare anything for them because they did not believe.
No sponsor either because they were going to boycott the top.
They did not have like proper kits for the competition.
Oh, yes. They're the only team in the World Cup, Stu, with no sponsor and stuff like that. Yeah, no problem.
Crazy.
Canada were like. For me, the most surprising performance, and I know that they lost, was Canada. Like that, the passing, the way they dealt with trouble when being pressed as well. Like Belgium's press in comparison to Canada's press was like it's not even comparable. Like Canada were pressing to the point where Belgium was struggling, and it's just the final ball and the finishing that lacked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The skip midfield is like going all the way, attacking all the way. It's incredible. And Alphonso Davies, even though he missed that penalty, he played a terrific match. He was so dangerous.
Do you know what's funny, Steve? I don't know if you've seen it, just to throw it in there. Just after the stream, I see what side. Do you see what De Bruyne said after the game, Steve?
What about him getting man of the match?
Yeah, and I like that, actually coming out and saying, I don't think, not that he played bad, but the whole team didn't play well as a collective. But, he said, I don't think I deserved it. Canada were good. And I like that honesty because he knows that they need to step up if they need to perform. Some players can say, do you know what? I'll accept the reward and I'll sort of run with it because the World Cup. But no, he understands the levels that they need to be at, and they weren't, Steve.
No, he was nowhere near his level. But I don't think the Belgian side is a good side. I think people can get at him. One thing with this World Cup is it's not really spoke about a lot because of the aircon in the stadiums. But I think the heat does affect a lot of teams. You're seeing late on in games, some of these teams like Japan, the energy levels are frightening, and that's when they can hurt you. So, they can match you for intensity early doors, run you into the ground. And if you don't make the right substitutions late on, they can freshen it up. And then they're snatching games late on and winning against big sides. I mean, the Saudi Arabia result was fantastic. I mean, they deserved it. Japan, the same, deserved it. And I don't think reputations, in World Cups, reputations go out the window. We've seen it. We look at some World Cups. This is Messi's, this is Ronaldo's. And it doesn't go that way. And I think this one is there for new heroes to come out. And I'm going to put it out there. I think Brazil are going to struggle, me. I just don't see the hype with it. Yeah, I don't see the hype. I looked at it and I think they're expecting Neymar and all this stuff. But listen, Neymar's one of them. Stuart watches him week in, week out. Yeah. I watched him when we played Paris, and I think teams can get into him. I think they can wind him up. And I think once you put him off his game, he's useless. He's falling on the floor and all that stuff. And I think if I'm a manager of Serbia tomorrow, and Serbia have got some big, aggressive lads in there, after seeing get a grip of Neymar early doors, rough him up a little bit, just get away with what you can get away with, take Brazil off their game. You try and play football against Brazil, you're getting murdered. But if you take Brazil off their game, get physical in the face, rough them up a little bit, Serbia style, I think Serbia, it'll be hard for them tomorrow.
Yeah, you know what? I think with us, I've seen a predicted team. Funny enough, they're going to go very attacking. Neymar's actually going to play in the 10 with Vinicius on the left, Rafinha on the right, and Richarlison up top. I think Brazil are going for goals early. I think if they could look at the blueprint from Spain, and I understand, Steve, Serbia are definitely better than Costa Rica. No disrespect to Costa Rica, but I think Brazil need to come out and make a statement. And funny enough, I think psychologically for Brazil, it probably benefits them that they're playing now instead of the other teams because they're going to be warned by Argentina losing to Saudi Arabia. They're going to look at Germany and Japan today. And with this Brazil team, like I said, more of a team now.
Be more careful.
Expectations on them. They're going to be careful, but they're also going to know, do you know what? if we go 1-0 up, we can't afford to even take our foot off the gas because Argentina have been pegged back, so have Germany. So we need to go and score goals and attack this team. So it's going to be interesting because even if they do that, like we said, we discussed Serbia's attack. They've still got obviously Mitrovic, Vlahovic, Filip Kostic, Milinkovic, Savic. So they're going to be a threat maybe on the counter.
Don't forget about Tadic.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's going to be an interesting game, but I think, you know, Brazil need to get off on the front foot. I don't think you want to be chasing now like Argentina and Germany for sure. You don't want to be chasing.
So, guys, now I need to talk about the big Giroud that equalized the record, goal scoring record of Thierry Henry. I don't know, Steve, if you watched the France game. Obviously, early bump on the road, I'd say, with this goal that we conceded. But I've been really impressed by the link up, the connection between Ousmane Dembele and Kylian Mbappe. Like I was expecting a lot, and I think Ousmane Dembele is the one I'm paying a lot of attention to during this World Cup. I was not expecting Giroud to score any goal during this World Cup because in 2018 we won the World Cup without him scoring any goal. So to be fair, I'm quite surprised. He had an amazing game. I'm happy for him. The way he celebrated as well, like staying on the floor like he got injured or something, that was a bit weird. But yeah, no, fair play to Giroud, and I think you can definitely see that even if we have Lucas Hernandez.
He's back.
Yeah. So now Lucas Hernandez is injured as well. So another injury.
Yeah.
But still, we have a quality squad, and we proved that even if we are weakened, we can still deliver. What are your thoughts about this game, Steve?
No, I enjoyed the match. Good early goal from Australia. Put the cat amongst the pigeons.
I was scared, man. I was scared. That was that.
France just turned it on a little bit. Then the quality, like you say, Giroud, fair play to him. He's always been a great striker. So to get that record on Thierry Henry is unbelievable. I thought Mbappe as well just started to up it a notch.
Man of the match.
He just looks. Yeah, he looks like he's got the bit between his teeth. He was running at players. He was very, very proactive. I think sometimes for PSG, he can get drawn into the game and start being a little bit lazy with it.
Yeah, agreed.
But when he's in France now, he's the main man. He's the main man now. The whole country's looking at him, and I think he's the man. If anyone can drag a team to a World Cup win, it's Maradona style, it's him, because he's just frightening. He can just do something in a game where, you know, it can be outstanding. And I just think, look, they've done the job 4-1 against Australia. Job done. You know, they're going to be happy. You're seeing bigger teams, big style teams losing points. So France have got to be happy. I mean, the other day when we spoke, I got the sense that Stuart wasn't overconfident in France. And like you say, I think the French people, I've spoke to another couple of lads, some Paris lads, and they were saying, we don't know. But listen, it was a good performance and a good win. And with Mbappe, I keep saying it.
So, Steve, comparing to the England performance, if, for example, England was playing France today, what are your thoughts around this? Do you think it will be a tight one?
We're fucking here, 100%. We're going all the way, mate. I'm telling you now, I'll take France. We're having it, mate. We're having it. I've told you, Gareth, if I was managing England, we'd beat France 4-0.
Okay, so you're not threatened by France then, even if after.
I'm not going to disrespect France. I'm not. It'd be a great game, but listen, you've got to play these teams. You want to win it. There's no point. We've had them easy runs all the way to the semis, and everyone got gassed up. I'd rather be playing France, to be honest. Proper game. And if you turn them over, you deserve it. You know what I mean? It gives you better confidence because you're beating a good side and you can grow in the competition. Sometimes you get these lesser opposition and you're bumbling through, and it's just doesn't do you any good. When you get up to one big boy, you get beat.
Yeah, I was surprised by the result as well of Denmark-Tunisia, because loads of people were saying Denmark was the dark horse of the competition. Tunisia had an amazing performance. I don't know if you guys watched that game, but that was a very interesting 0-0. Again, Denmark, we're playing Denmark after. We always struggled against them. After seeing that performance against Tunisia, I'm not that scared about Denmark. What are your thoughts about this?
To me? I talk to me? Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
We didn't know who you were asking.
Oh, yeah. What are your thoughts, you guys? Around this? Yeah, the Denmark team.
Yeah, Denmark. Well, Denmark. I was impressed by Denmark during the qualification rounds. They played very well, especially also during the Euros. But I was a little bit disappointed with their play during this World Cup. I love the coach. I love the way they try to play with a 4-3-3 system, very dynamic, and they can really play well against big teams. So even though you're not scared, I would be scared because they can play well against the big teams instead of the small teams. You could see that against Tunisia. Give them some space, like France often gives. It can be very difficult for France. So I'm not counting on an easy win for France, to be honest.
All I'll say is that what I've seen from a lot of these teams like Saudi Arabia and Tunisia is that they're playing with full confidence. I'm not
even
seeing
Morocco today against Croatia
today as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Morocco did really well.
Yeah, I think these teams are just coming in and saying, look, we're not the favorites to even get out of the group. We might not even get third, but we're going to perform and we're going to do our best. And that's what I saw. I mean, that Saudi Arabian performance, the first half in particular, like that was end-to-end football. And I know Argentina got three offside goals, but like that was because Saudi Arabia were playing end-to-end football. They were going
even the Argentinian pen was a generous pen, by the way, to be fair.
It was a lot of people saying it was quite soft, and the reason they got 3 offside goals was because Saudi Arabia were at it. They were trying to get into the attacking areas of the pitch, and then in the second half when they were 2-1 up, they just defended because they knew that's all we need to do now. There's no point us trying to attack. Argentina will hit us on the break, and that's it. I'm I don't know what's happening, man. I don't know what's happening.
Loads of surprises.
This gets me nervous because like tomorrow when I see Portugal and Ghana, I don't want to see no madnesses. Like I don't want to see like all of these mistakes. Like we're seeing some of these big teams, like some of these European teams in particular, like they might be scraping games. They might be doing all right, but they're not performing on that level. I thought France were really good in particular, like in the second half, especially. Like it was just, you can just see when Australia scored, I thought, nah, it's surely not. Like, surely not. And then like eventually France just.
But bro, it took us at least like 40 minutes to wake up.
Yeah,
really like, it was a slow start, very slow start.
Exactly. Do you know what? I actually got to give a little bit of plaudits to Adrian Rabiot as well, because I think he's one of them players always under the microscope. Do you know what I mean? I know his mother's his agent as well, so she's always in the headlines. But looking at the midfield, which is where I thought France would be quite weak, Stu, I know it's Australia, so like we were all agreed that you were meant to beat Australia, but with Rabiot and Chouameni, did you see that as a partnership that can get you far in this World Cup?
So 50-50, I'd say. Obviously, I'd love to see Camavinga back as well. He was experiencing a little bit of discomfort, but I think Camavinga can bring a lot. But I still have some doubts about this midfield, mate.
I feel like they can get bypassed. You know, say someone, for example, if you meet England in a quarterfinal, and Foden picks up the ball in that little
100%,
and starts dribbling and ball carrying, I think you're in trouble.
I agree.
With direct midfielders, I think so. I think we've got midfielders who can be direct.
Bernardo Silva who can travel with the ball.
Yeah.
Oh, what did you say, Steve?
Southgate will play Calvin. I said Southgate will play Calvin Phillips instead, not Foden. So that's where
he probably would. No, he probably would.
He will, mate, 100%. If we play against France, he will shit himself.
He will think about how to stop France rather than how to beat France.
Yeah, that's it. This is what I said on the first show. Let the England players play. Let France or whoever worry about us. Put Grealish in there. Look at Spain today, Look what they did. They had the Pedri and Gavi. Is it Gavi? There.
Yeah.
And they were knocking it about, and they looked fluent. They even put Rodri at centre back.
I know.
Yeah.
Emerick Laporte and Rodri centre back today. That is madness. But they looked the part, and I thought, you know what? Fair play. They went out there and they didn't line up defensively. They could have dropped Rodri in the middle there and put someone else at the back. They went out and they got the 2 young lads on the ball in the World Cup, enjoying the football, and it's great to see. That's what England need to do.
More than 1,000 passes, in Spain game. More than 1,000 passes during.
That's proper Barcelona style of play.
Exactly.
Guys, Spain, they're one of the best possession-based international teams in football.
That's not really surprising about it.
In Euros, we were saying, they can get as much possession as they want, but if they can't finish their dinner, they're not going to get through. And even then, like they struggled to score goals in the round of 16 and in the group stages, and then they just went at it after that. And now we can't really say anything. Like if they continue to perform like that, they're going to struggle. But I still think at times Spain, if they keep knocking the ball about and then they can just run out of ideas at times. You can knock the ball about as much as you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you're playing against the bigger teams, it can
You might need a plan B, and have they
Yeah.
got a plan B?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's
Even
also
even
frustrating.
Alvaro Morata was on fire. I was surprised that even
Yeah.
Morata was making goals,
Everybody.
man.
It's very interesting to see what this Spain squad can do, because I think everyone knows that they play really good football. But like Paolo says, once they come up against like a physical opposition, they get to the quarters and the semis, and maybe they're 1-0 down. Have they got the mental to fight back? Normally they control the game and score first. Like, what happens if they're in an uncomfortable situation? And that's what can happen in the World Cup. That's why we love the tournament, to be fair.
But they can struggle as well when they get pressured. Like if they play against a team that is pressuring, because Costa Rica, they were like really playing defensive football. They gave the defenders of Spain and the midfielders all the time, all the room, all the space to play, and that's actually their best play, the way they play best.
Yeah.
Talking about that game, I have to say, as a PSG fan, I was so disappointed by Keylor Navas' performance, guys. I think he was all over the place, man. I'm sorry, but I know he's been injured for quite a long time now. He has a back issue, and I've always said that I was more Keylor Navas guy than Donnarumma. But I'm sorry, but what happened today is a bit shocking, to be fair. I know the defense was all over the place as well. It's not only about him, but that was poor goalkeeping from Keylor Navas today as well.
It's all about confidence, at the end.
Yeah, I agree. I need to talk to you guys, Paulo and Ty, because you guys are starting your first game tomorrow. Portugal, Ghana, Brazil, Serbia. We quickly touch base on this. I'm going to start with Portugal, Ghana. How is the squad looking, Paulo? Any major injuries? What do you think is going to be the starting 11?
Starting 11. I mean, I could go for a couple, and I still think Fernando Santos will go with a defensive lineup. I mean, I'm nervous for this. I'm really nervous for this game. I think that it's either he's going to go with a team. Look, this is what I expect him to play. I think Diogo Costa at goal. You need to play him in the.
So he's the number one. Okay, I was going to ask you that straight away. That's what my first question was going to be.
I think his distribution, his shot stopping ability, coming off his line, the sweeper keeper, like he's better than Rui Patricio. And I really like Rui Patricio. I really like him, but I think Diogo Costa is better. Right back, you got Cancelo. The question for me is at centre back, because Ruben Diaz will play.
Yeah.
You can play beside him. Pepe's been injured. I still think he's good at 39. I think he still do a solid job there. But like you know, Stu, Danilo can play centre back like he's done for PSG. I think he can do a good job there. And I think left back will be Nun Minj. Again, Stu, you already know. Baller.
World class. World class.
You have to. And I think the midfield, again, I don't know. For me, personally, I would probably go João Palhinha. I would go Bernardo Silva and Bruno Fernandes in midfield.
No Vitinha.
No Vitinha for this game. I think that I'm not saying you can't win with Vitinha, but there's too many options in midfield, and you just got to get it right. I think Bernardo Silva is a lot better in midfield for Portugal in particular, because look, he might go with midfield 4 in the playoffs. He went with a 4-4-2. He played Otavio, Bernardo Silva, William, and I think he played Gonzalo Guedes at the time.
Guedes, yeah.
He's gone with players who are very active off the ball, very energetic, interceptions, tackles, but you need players who are good on the ball just as they are off the ball. And I think that's what you need in this Ghana game. I think Ghana, they're not a team who likes to have too much possession, but they're going to make it hard for us. They have good players, man.
Counter-attack and pace, man.
Pace.
Pace.
I'm not too sure about if any injuries in their squad, but Williams, it's going to be a tough game for us. And I think front three, I think he will definitely play Ronaldo. I think he'll play Rafael Leão. And I think he'll play João Felix.
Mate, I'm sorry.
I think you'll play Rafael Leão, yeah.
Sorry, so you're just cutting you here, but I need to ask you about Ronaldo, mate. I'm sorry, but with everything that happened right now, share your thoughts about what's happening. What's going on?
Yeah, I think, look, this Man United situation, and I'm a Man United supporter. Ty was surprised to know I was a Man United supporter, yeah, but I don't want to link Man United to Portugal. I think that there's been a lot of interviews and people asking him about, Cancelo and Bruno Fernandes and how they are dealing with that situation of the interview. I think you got to put that to the side. This is international football. You want to win trophies, and that's it. Yeah, there might be something in the back of their minds where they're thinking, "Come on, man, you got an interview like that," and it's not nice. But Ronaldo's Ronaldo, innit? And not many players could have done that interview and kind of, I don't want to say he pulled it off, but if he has a good World Cup, people, they won't forget, but they'll be like, it happened, innit? Like, what can you do? Do you know what I mean? And if he has a poor World Cup, I was saying it the other day, people will remember this interview even more, because if he has a poor World Cup and Portugal out early, they'll say he's finished. And for me, it is what it is. Like, you got to play him in his last World Cup. I still think he offers something that, you know, he's a finisher. He's a box player. That's all he is. He's a penalty box player, and he can be in those positions to score goals. I think, like I said earlier on, it might be a contradiction to start him, considering that I think pressing teams have done so well in this tournament so far, and you can't really press with Ronaldo there. Yeah, he's still got players like Bernardo and João Felix who can do that press. You press from the front. Ronaldo can't really do that, especially for 90 minutes. It's a tough one. I still think it should be enough to beat Ghana.
Psychologically, Paulo, can I ask you a question? Psychologically, in terms of Ronaldo himself, so like you said, you focus on the team, but Ronaldo himself, do you think, because of the mentality he's always had of he loves proving people wrong and stuff like that, unfortunately, obviously, what he's had going on with his personal circumstances, I feel like for the first time, he actually has been affected by a lot of what's gone on in the last 6 months. Do you feel like this is going to be more pressure on him? Do you feel like he's going out there with like, oh shit, I am under pressure? Or do you think he's going out with the more mentality of, I'm going to prove a point? Do you think like it's going to have a positive or negative of him? I'm just intrigued because obviously
I think right now in his career, I think it's going to have more positive than negative. I know he said a lot in the media, but I think at this point, when he's let all those emotions out in the interview, there's no point keeping that heavy weight on your shoulders when, like, perhaps if you didn't do the interview, you go into the Portugal games and the motivation might not be there. He said it in the interview, the motivation to be on the pitch for Man United was not really there. And you can see it on the pitch. Man starting Europa games, he can't even get in Premier League.
Yeah.
So you can see his performances weren't there. Mentally, it's going to connect. He's not going to perform well. Right now, with that interview, knowing he's not at Man United.
You feel like he flushed out the sweat.
Okay. I mean, if, like, what other excuses are there? Like, I think he's going to perform to the best of his ability. Is the best of his ability right now at his current age good enough to, I don't want to say carry, but get Portugal to, you know, he's going to be, if he's playing in the striker position, he's going to score most goals. It's as simple as that. He's going to score most goals. We're going to have to wait and see.
Now I need. I'm sorry.
I was just thinking, Stu, you got a visitor there.
Yeah, I have the cat here, but I was listening to you and I was watching Steve, and he's the Englishman here. Obviously, I know he's a Man City fan, but I need to ask for his opinion. Obviously, Ronaldo had
I want to hear
very kind and lovely words for English people in general and England as a country as well during this interview. I know Stevie's full of banter as well, but honestly, like, objectively, talk to me, man, about this whole situation. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I've backed Portugal to win the World Cup, and I've backed Ronaldo for the Golden Boot. So that tells you what I think about him. But listen, no, what it is on the club level, I just think when he signed for Man United, it was a panic from everyone involved, and he thought. The club he thought he was going back to wasn't the club that he went back to. And the player they thought they were getting wasn't the one. And it suited the Glazers at the time because Man United fans were breaking in the stadium. And as soon as he signed Ronaldo, it was all forgot about. And then you only have to look. Anyone with half a brain only has to look that yesterday they released Ronaldo on a free. Straight after they announced a statement saying, we are open to strategic planning. To me, that means they're going to B&Q, getting some fucking gloss paint and painting a couple of stands and fixing a few leaky cracked roofs and everything's rosy in the garden. To United fans, that means they're getting a £10 billion takeover. United are back, City are shitting themselves, and we all better run away because United are coming. I've heard it for 10 years. It's a load of bollocks. So at the end of the day, it took Ronaldo, a club legend, to come in and call Man United out for what it is. The place is a shit show. When I say it on my shows, it's Big Steve. He's taking a piss out United. No, but I live in Manchester and I talk to the fans that go week in, week out.
Exactly.
So I know the roof's leaking. I know these rats on the pitch. I know all the kids are signing for City. I know your stadium's falling apart. That's not me. That's me telling the truth.
Yeah.
And Ronaldo finally called it out. And at the end of the day, it soured the relationship between Ronaldo and the club. The fans will always love him. He is a legend. But it could have been done in the right way. It could have been done behind closed doors. They could have just said, look, say nothing, we'll cancel your contract. And then they could have put a statement out and gone, due to mutual consent, decided that the best thing is Ronaldo goes that way and we go that way. But no, it's got bitter. Things have happened. They'll probably come out after the World Cup even more. But listen, Ronaldo, what he's done in the game, you've got to respect him. You cannot not respect him. But Manchester United as a football club, you've got to respect the football club. Even if I'm a Man City fan and I hate the ground and everything about them, but I respect them because They're a football club and long traditions and all that. So it was just a case of two egos clashing and things happening and all that. It was a bit messy for me, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the World Cup's come at a nice time. Ronaldo's going to do his thing. United are going to paint the stand. And everyone's happy. And Ty,
how is it perceived in the Netherlands, the whole Ronaldo situation? I'm in France as well. I mean, I'm from France. I live in London, but I know in France they're paying a lot of attention to this situation as well. I'm not going to ask you if you will be able to and in favor of taking Ronaldo at Ajax. I already know the answer is no. But what do you think about all what's happening, and do you think it's going to impact Portugal in the World Cup?
Well, in the Netherlands, it was all crazy. I mean, when we saw the interview, it was all crazy. Also in the news, sporting website, so it was a bit crazy. But in my view, it won't affect Portugal. The love of Ronaldo for Portugal is way too big. It's way too big. He puts Portugal at first place, and then the club. You can clearly see that, and he can distinguish both things easily. So he's totally focused on Portugal. He will do his thing, and I mean, just like Big Steve said, it's a country which can easily win the World Cup. It's not what I predicted, but it can easily be one of those outsiders, one of the favorites. Yeah.
You see, Paulo, people are more confident about your country than yourself, actually.
It's always like that, though, isn't it? It's always like that. Like,
same for France.
Yeah, like
don't get stressed.
Yeah, I've watched every single game, and it's just it's hard to see your team win the tournament when the last time you got to a quarterfinals, except for the Euro 2016, was in 2006.
Why are you bringing this up? You want
I'm
me
just
to cry
saying,
again? Why you want me to cry again? Like he was in France as well, man. Why are you saying this? Come on.
You guys know what I'm on about. You guys know what I'm on about. Either way, I expect a result against Ghana. You got to start off the game well, and you got to win the first game. Because now Argentina, they're in the mud now. I still think they should get out the group, but
yeah, they will.
You need to win your first game.
Yeah,
you don't win your first game, you're in big trouble, especially when you're facing Uruguay in the second game. And then South Korea again. These smaller teams are doing a madness. Like I'm getting nervous.
Yeah, Uruguay is a team to watch as well. Ty, second, I'd say, or equal favorite of this competition, Brazil. So Brazil is playing tomorrow again.
Oh, have I froze again?
You froze again, right?
Yeah. You are okay. I'm here still. Oh, that's what I was panicking, looking at you, and everyone stops and goes still. It's like musical podcast statues.
He'll come. I think he's froze. So he's going to. He's obviously asking you about Brazil, Ty. So obviously tomorrow's game against Serbia is going to be a tough game. We've already touched on it, but what's your opinions on it? Where's the game won? Where the game could be lost? Is there any surprises starting lineup that you think could happen, or is it just plain sailing?
Yeah, do you know what? I think the starting lineup's pretty nailed on for Brazil. I just feel like because their qualification was so smooth in terms of going through unbeaten. I think it'll be Alisson in goal. It'll be Alex Sandro, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva in his last World Cup, and then Danilo at right back. It'll be Paqueta and Casemiro, left foot, right foot, obviously combination in there, and it'll be Neymar in the 10 with Vinicius on the right, Rafinha and Richarlison. When I look at that team, like it's very attacking. The only issue I have is that potential midfield in terms of Casemiro. I love, by the way. I think he's a brilliant player. I've seen what he's done at Man United as he's grown every game by game. But I look at Paqueta and him in a pivot, and it's similar a bit to the France midfield. Paqueta is more of a creative midfielder. How much can he do that defensive work? So if Serbia do manage to bypass the lines, Casemiro is not the type you want to be putting left and right. Like you want him in the heart of midfield, be in the heartbeat. If he's getting pulled around and Serbia exposing the sort of gaps, that could be a worry for me because Thiago Silva, as much as I love him, brilliant player over the last 15 years, he is not the same player as he once was. He's still got the leadership, but he's not the same player. Alex Sandro and Danilo, for me, that's the worry if I'm Brazil. I'll talk about the worry first. And I think I look at them in the tournament and you're looking at Nuno Mendes, you're looking at Cancelo for Portugal, just for example. You're even looking at Luke Shaw and Kieran Trippier. You're looking at Dumfries and Malacia or Daley Blind, but I feel like a lot of teams have got better wing backs than what Brazil have. And I feel like if any wingers like an Mbappe plays them or, you've got João Felix and Rafael Leão up against these players, I think managers will be like, get at them, 1v1 and just take them on, because if they get an early yellow card or anything like that, we know that Alexandra and Danilo are not the players they once was. So I think Brazil, their weakness will be the wing backs. And I think over the tournament, have they got the depth to rotate and be that strong? Alex Telles coming in, Dani Alves at 41 could probably be like my uncle. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's. Yeah, I don't think they're the right quality players. And then I go into the attack. That's where I'm Brazil, and I'm thinking, do you know what? This is going to get people up in their living rooms. They're going to be dancing because you've got great balance here, man. You've got Richarlison, who's, when you're in tournaments, right? We're talking about the Germany-Japan game. Just give an example. It was a great game to watch, but it was too nice. Sometimes you need in the World Cup a bit of, do you know what?
I think tomorrow will be like that.
Yeah, and I think the first game that will be like that. Yeah, I agree with you. And I think you need a Richarlison in there. When you've got the Mitrovic, they're going to throw their elbows into Thiago Silva. You need to give some of it back. So I like the Richarlison's in there. He plays well for Brazil. And I like the Rafinha and Vinicius combination. I've always been I look at Arsenal, and I've always been, when I watch teams, I like balance, complementary in a side. And you got Vinicius is more like, I don't want to say the road runner, but he's gonna stretch the teams. He's gonna be the Heung-min Son, the Rashford in behind, direct. Yeah. Then you got Rafinha, who's kind of like the Bukayo Saka type. They try and retain the ball. They're more ball to feet. So you've got a different dimension there. And this then allows Mr. Number 10, Mr. Neymar, to do his thing, because, like I said in the first show, you've got Fred, who was playing in 2014 and stuff like that. I didn't feel like Brazil had that attacking potence that they could have players from all across the pitch scoring. It was, you stop Neymar, you stop Brazil. This time, you don't stop Neymar, you stop Brazil. Vinicius is a brilliant player. He's come into his own. Rafinha can still do something, even though he frustrates at times. You know, Rafinha can still do something. And Richarlison's just got that dog in him. So I think there's a real balance across this front four. I'm excited for this tournament. I'm beaten in a lot of games now, no injuries. So going into the tournament confident. And you still got players that I'm not even mentioning, Martinelli, who you could say is the top 5 winger in the Premier League right now.
How many games Argentina were unbeaten?
31.
Oh, right? 31? I thought it was more.
I was more. Oh, probably then. Probably.
Oh, it didn't happen to anyone, bro. Especially during this World Cup. It's a very, very surprising World Cup, I'd say.
Okay, so yeah, I'm confident, Steve, that I think we can go out there and get the result tomorrow. I would be disappointed if they don't go out and get a result, because I think we've got Switzerland in the group as well. And Switzerland remind me of Denmark. When you get into tournaments, you just don't want to play them type of teams because they're just gritty. Yeah, they're gritty. They sometimes can just, you know, get a result out of nowhere. So I'm excited for Brazil. I want to hear what, do you know what? Because obviously a lot of people ask me about Brazil and how I feel. I am confident. I don't want to go into a confident feeling overly confident, but I just feel like the standard of the other teams and what Brazil are doing right now, it kind of like the perfect timing for it to work. However, do you guys feel like Brazil are your favorites? Do you feel like they're as good as what
I know Steve has some doubts around Brazil.
Yeah. What are your doubts, Steve, in terms of Brazil? Is it midfield? Is it just the coach, or?
I just don't know. I just don't think it's a great Brazilian side. I mean, I look at it and, you know, Richarlison, is he great? Rafinha, is he great? The 2 fullbacks you just mentioned, are they great? You know, and I think that it's not that great. And if everyone's pinning their hopes on Neymar, then he's the last person on the planet you want to be pinning any hopes on, because it depends how he wakes up in the morning. He's either going to wake up and be absolutely outstanding and tear your arsehole apart and kill you and win, or he's just going to be sulking, moaning, falling all over, can't be bothered.
Doing unnecessary flicks and tricks as usual as well.
Yeah, so I just don't know. That's just my opinion with it. I mean, I've watched the Brazil teams over the years with Romario, Bebeto, Ronaldo, R9 Ronaldo, Dunga, people like that. And
they had more steel about them with the Lucio, and it felt like it was more steel.
Yeah, it's just that I look at it and I think, okay, I'm not falling for the hype of Brazil just yet. If they prove me wrong, I'll be the first one to come on here and say, look, fair play. But I think Serbia tomorrow caused them a lot of problems. And if Brazil can get out of that game with a win, then they've done well.
Yeah, I would even take a 1-0 or a 2-1, because I feel like I said, with tournament football, you look at the Netherlands, I don't know if we've touched on already, but they weren't great. But you look at, you know, Germany, the Argentines, like we've spoken about. As the tournament progresses, you expect these teams to get better, because a lot of them don't obviously play with each other a lot. And when you've got star players from different teams coming together, it's kind of, you're playing off adrenaline. You're kind of like hoping it kind of goes together for the first game, which it can or it can't. And then if not, then you're like, right, you're kind of scrambling a bit like egg, and you're like, right, we've got to win our second game. So for me, if Brazil win 1-0, I don't care. If they win 2-1, I don't care. I just think about starting a tournament is just about getting off on the front foot.
Most important.
It's the most important, and the momentum will come with it. But I can understand Steve's concerns. And like I said, Steve, I don't know when you just cut off. I did say the wing backs, for me, I think that's a problem for Brazil. And also in midfield, I've got Fred at my club. I like Fred for what he does. I don't know what Paulo's thoughts are, but a lot of people like sell Fred. In terms of like what we need in Man United, he's a unique profile. He's what do I say? He's like fly around shit. Sorry about my language. But he's like,
no, that's fine.
He nibbles, he gets the ball back. He's good at pressing. He's good in big games. When you're going to dominate the ball and you've got to impose yourself, you don't want Fred on the pitch, but he's good at certain things when you simplify his role. But then you've got Paqueta and Fabinho, who has been out of form for Liverpool. He is not the Fabinho of 2 years ago. So when you look at the wing backs and you look at central midfield, I understand why Steve has doubts. I'm more pinning my hopes on the midfield, doing their job, getting the ball to the attack and saying, right, go out there and try and score some early goals and create, a bit like France, to be honest. Your midfield is not great, but if you get the ball to the Mbappés and the Giroud in the right areas, you score 4 and it can happen.
Yeah, you kind of only play for the front 3 as well. Like,
it's
weird,
like that.
It can work, and it cannot work against some teams as well. So that's a bit of a tricky one, to be fair. But
especially Serbia.
Talking about this, you mentioned Switzerland. So the other teams in this group are Switzerland and Cameroon, and they're playing against each other tomorrow. So 10 a.m. kickoff as well. I'm just going to quickly ask for your predictions, guys, for tomorrow's games. So we have Switzerland, Cameroon, followed by Uruguay, South Korea, then Portugal, Ghana, and Brazil, Serbia. So let's start with Switzerland, Cameroon with Ilyas. What are your predictions for this game?
I will say 1-0, like an easy
1-0 Switzerland.
1-0 Switzerland, indeed. Yeah.
Do you think Switzerland can get qualified in this group, like finish second, for example?
Very difficult. I won't say no at once because they're in the group with Brazil, right, and with Serbia, right. Now I will give Serbia more the benefit of the doubt against in comparison with Switzerland.
Be careful to Switzerland. We got kicked out of the Euros by Switzerland as well.
That's true.
I know that's a trick. That's
true. But you're to blame. It's France to blame, eh? Not
I know.
You didn't score. You let alone a lot of chances.
Yeah, Steve, Switzerland, Cameroon prediction.
I think Switzerland will win. I think it'll be 2-0. Be tight, but Switzerland, they just go under the radar all the time. People underestimate them a bit. I don't think Cameroon have got the squad that they've had in previous years. I think it'll be probably tight early doors with Cameroon, a lot of energy and stuff, but I think quality of Switzerland will beat them.
Yeah, Paolo, same. Switzerland as well?
I think Switzerland might just get a 1-0 victory. I think this is going to be one of those games where
they are definitely favourites in this game anyway.
I think they're favourites. I think in the last few tournaments, Switzerland have managed to get out of the group stages, but this is probably the most difficult group they've been in. So they're going to have to play some sort of football where you're thinking you're going to have to go quite attacking. Cameroon are most likely going to sit back and soak up pressure, and I think Switzerland will get a 1-0.
Yeah, Ty, same.
Yeah, I'm actually with Paolo. I'm going to go 1-0. I was going to say 0-0, but I just think Switzerland might nick it from a set piece. But I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't set your alarms for this game. I don't expect it to be.
I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, no.
Now let's talk about Uruguay, South Korea, because we received quite a lot of messages about us not talking enough about Uruguay. Apparently, it's one of the dark horse of this competition. What are your thoughts around Uruguay? Do you think they can do something this year?
Well,
who wants to go?
Yeah, do you know Uruguay are Uruguay. I think we all, you know what, you know when you have beans and toast, it's just a meal you can't complain about. Yeah. Uruguay come to the World Cup, and they're probably going to wiggle their way through the group, and they'll find themselves in the quarterfinals. You look at Uruguay, and you obviously got Darwin Núñez now, who's the sort of the young mix of the Cavani, Suarez, you could say. They've just got, I call them three, calculated chaos. I can't wait just to see who they're going to pair up and all them guys on the pitch. But in Uruguay, obviously they've got the special player in Valverde this year who's really like taken off. I've liked Valverde as a player, but I've never been like Valverde. I'm putting him in my sort of like thoughts of an elite player, but he's really developing himself, ball striking, all round combative, up and down the pitch. So I think he's going to be very essential for them, especially what Paolo said as well. And I was saying about energy levels dropping after sort of the 70th minute. He's going to be important. Bentancur, who I actually think out of Spurs' players, he's probably been one of their best players this season, if I'm honest. I think he surprised quite a lot of people. I've got to give them their flowers. So they've got an attack that can score goals, and they've got a midfield that probably has that a bit of cojones about it. But the rest of it, I'm just unsure about, and I don't think any game that Uruguay play is going to be attractive, but they'll hustle their way through the group.
Whereas in front of them, no disrespect to South Korea, but it's looking a little bit like a one-man team.
Yeah, I think Uruguay win that. I think the quality probably shines at the end. And is Heung-min Son fit, by the way? Does everyone know his cheek okay and everything? Or
I think he should play tomorrow. Normally,
he might play with that mask. You know what Aubameyang wore?
Yeah, mask on, isn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, that's my thoughts in Uruguay. They'll hustle their way through, but they'll fall short when it really matters, man.
So prediction: Uruguay win. And any scoreline on your side?
Do you know what? I'm gonna go 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0.
Yeah,
Elias, same.
I'll go for a 1-1. I think it's
okay.
one of those. I think it's. I mean, the Asian teams are really impressing me, and Uruguay has certain players, but I'm not really impressed by them. And next to that, it's a very unpredictable World Cup. So I think they can do some damage.
South Korea, by the way, just to drop, South Korea's centre back, that Min Jae Kim, he's playing for Napoli.
Yeah,
good player.
Probably top 3 centre backs in Europe this season. So
very good player.
Yeah, exactly, Steve. So I think he's one of them ones that he's gonna, with the form he's in at the moment and the form Napoli, and he's coming in again with that World Cup of like, I want to show the world even more what I want to do. So again, a motivated team, a motivated player. So yeah.
Again, I'm not betting, but I think if I had to bet during this World Cup, I would bet on the kind of small nations because they're smashing it. So Steve, same. Are you going for Uruguay win as well?
Yeah, I think 2-0. I think Uruguay, they're mad, aren't they? They just seem to be there, and they're not a great side, but they're horrible. They're horrible, aren't they? Suarez, horrible. You know what I mean? Nunes, horrible.
Dirty, man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Cavani's like he wants a fight and he's got a bit about him. The rest of them are a bit like gritty and that. So you just don't know. Yeah, listen, I wish I could just judge him after the first game because everyone's surprising everyone. It's good.
Yeah.
Have
they still got Paolo? Do you know if they've still got Godin centre back with Jimenez?
I don't know. He's been here for ages, man. I
feel like he might be like Pepe and still plays.
Yeah, I think he still
plays.
He still plays.
See, he still plays. See, oh my God.
Yeah, I think he's about 65.
I would be incredibly happy if Uruguay managed to get a draw in that game. I would be so happy.
Oh yeah. Obviously,
for me, just
will be perfect.
I don't want to underestimate South Korea, but I think Uruguay will get a 2-1 scrape. I think that they have more quality than South Korea. They're a bit of a one-man team, but like you said, our Napoli centre back, from what I've seen in Napoli this season, has been a madness.
Napoli is smashing it, man. Smashing it.
I think Uruguay.
Diego Godin is in the squad.
No way.
There you go. He's going to be there. Wow. His 10th World Cup. He'll be playing in his wheelchair. I love that.
Fellas, even Sebastian Coates is in there as well. He seems to
that's it. It's Coates, Jimenez, and Godin. Yeah,
they've got just looking at some of the standout players. Obviously, Jose Jimenez, Atletico Madrid, Aruja, Barcelona.
Oh,
they got Coates. Yeah. They got Lucas Torreira, Galatasaray, Valverde. They've even called up Facundo Palestra from Man United.
Yeah. They have, and he actually plays all right for them, to be fair.
So they've got a good squad.
Yeah.
So Godin. How old is Godin? He must be
crazy.
I have world-class players in their team. That's the question. Do you know what I mean?
Is he still playing for Atletico Madrid though?
Who Godin?
No, he's got back.
Velez Sarsfield. He's playing for now. Velez Sarsfield. He was at Calgary.
Oh no,
yeah. He's gone back. He's gone back home. Yeah.
He's 36. He's 36. He's not a Pepe, but he's 36.
Yeah. So I agree with Paolo. Like, they haven't got loads of world class players. If anything, I think Valverde's gonna have to be the player that steps up for them. No Valverde, no Uruguay. I think he is a lot of pressure on him, which is unintentional. It's not his fault. He's just surprised everyone. Exactly.
Paolo, talking about Group H, you said it will be a good draw for you. Prediction on Portugal, Ghana then?
I'm going to say 2-0. I'm going to
Okay.
say 2-0. I'm not going to go 4-1s, none of that. I don't
Okay,
want to
go for goal scorers then.
goal scorers. I'm going to say, I think Ronaldo will get a goal. And I
Okay.
think we might see maybe Bruno there. Maybe.
What do you think his celebration is going to be if he scores?
I was thinking that.
He's gonna do one of them madnesses like that again, or he's gonna go like that again, or he's gonna show off his watch. He'll play with his watch that new watch. No, I think it'll be either. I think it might be Ronaldo, Bruno, but like we've seen at Man United, I think there's internationally there might be a problem with them clashing as well. Bruno occupies that number 9 position.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
And I think I mean I want to see Bernardo Silva have a fantastic World Cup. I rate him so highly, man. I rate him so highly. So yeah, I'll say 2-0 win.
2-0 Portugal. Elias, do you think Portugal can? I think Portugal can definitely win that one, but 2-0 as well, 3-0, 4-0, like massive.
No, I'll go for a 2-0. Also going for Ronaldo, and I think the second goal scorer will be Leao somewhere in the second half during the counter.
Yeah,
with his speed, I think he can do some damage. But we got one player from Ajax, Kudus. He's on fire. He's on fire right now. So he is in form. So Portugal really needs to have a look at him because he can be very dangerous.
I think Portugal can do like a big statement like Spain did today. Actually, I'm predicting like a 5-goal difference tomorrow.
Wow!
Portugal.
Wow!
Yeah, I still think they're gonna. I think it will look a little bit like look a little bit like what Spain did today. To be fair,
interesting.
No, you'll see. Steve, do you think they're gonna smash it or like it will be a tight one?
Yeah, no, I think they're gonna smash it. I think it'll be 3 or 4. I'll say 3-0.
Yeah.
Told you, mate, Paulo. Everyone is confident about your team, man. So
I'm gonna go 2-1 Portugal. I think like Paulo. I just think Ghana are not gonna come there and mess about. I think like Elias said as well, like Mohamed Kudus, he's still got Thomas Partey in there as well. I don't think they've got loads of talent, but I just feel like they're gonna be well drilled. That's the word I'm looking for. And I don't think Portugal will have the potential to break down teams in a low block very easily. I feel they want teams to come onto them, and Ghana won't do that. So, yeah.
So if you want to do the same as us, by the way, that's what we're doing. This is where you can play Match Day Challenge and predict the World Cup with friends by scanning the QR code on your screen as well. You can win some NFT players cards as well. That's a great app as well. So go give it a check. Last but not least, Ty, Brazil, Serbia.
3-1. 3-1 Serbia. 3-1 Brazil.
3-1 Brazil. Interesting. Okay, Paulo.
I'm gonna say 2-1 Brazil. I think Serbia are gonna make it physical. They're gonna make it physical. They're gonna have to anyway. Like you can't just let Brazil come onto you like that. They're gonna get dominated if they allow that. And when I saw that in the qualifying stages with Portugal and Serbia, when they knocked us out for us to get into the playoffs, they made it dirty. And look, what I've seen from Portugal as well, which hasn't really been mentioned, is lapses in concentration. Some of these players, they get on the ball, they do all their lovely stuff in the first half an hour, and then they kind of lose those last 10 minutes of one half, and then that's when the counter is on, and then you just lose it. I've seen players like Danilo. I'm pretty sure you've seen that at PSG. A centre back who sometimes his awareness is not there.
Yeah.
So I think that Serbia will make it dirty. If they don't make it dirty, I can see this being a 4-1 battering.
Okay, Big Steve, what do you think? Brazil, easy win?
No, I'm going
Serbia. I'm going Serbia personally.
Oh, go for the upset, Steve. I know you're itching.
I'm going Serbia.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go Serbia 1-0. It's going to be a VAR.
Yeah, I like it. We need this. This is what we need.
Mate, on the Big Six, have you ever seen some of the predictions on the Big Six? People calling.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
The other year I said Burnley would beat Liverpool 1-0 or whatever it was, and I even described the goal, and it happened, and everyone was like, "Wow, he's freaky! Stop it!" Right. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just think it's a year of upsets, and why not? But we'll see. I might be wrong.
Serbia is also considered one of the underdog of this competition. To be fair,
there is.
Yeah.
True. So I'm personally, I'm going to ask you Elias first, but I will explain myself after. You going for Brazil or Serbia?
No, I'm straightforward. I'm going for Brazil. I think a 2-0. I expect a very aggressive Serbia, so meaning probably a red card. If you look at the players of Brazil, they fall easily. They can fake an injury very easily. Look at Neymar. Look at
I like that
a lot
faking,
of
faking
acting,
an
a lot of
injury.
faking. So I expect a red card.
Look at Pele looking down on me there. Look, Pele. I'm slagging Brazil off, and Pele looking down on me there behind.
Okay, I'm going personally. I'm going Serbia. I think they are considered one of the dark horse of this competition. As Big Steve said, they will play very physical football. I think they can cancel this Brazil team because again, not faking injuries, but some of them are too soft in the Brazilian squad. Like they can risk like big injuries during the game of tomorrow. I'd say. I think some madness will happen tomorrow, and some players might get injured. To be fair,
Ty doesn't like that one. Ty's not liking that.
Yeah. I think
I'm
that,
having visions of Neymar going down in the 20th minute or something.
Bro, obviously, I don't want Neymar to get injured.
Yeah.
Because he's quality this season as well. He
They're
will
not the
help
most
us a lot.
robust players. I admit that.
I don't mind the others, but please don't no Neymar. So I'm still going Serbia, like a tight win. Like I'd say 1-0 because I think they will score maybe a lucky goal and then probably park the bus, play physical and get out with the win. So yeah, I'm going 1-0 Serbia tomorrow. So guys, if you want to also play match day challenge, predict the World Cup score lines as well with your friends, scan the QR code on your screen. Guys, it's been an interesting one. I'm looking forward to the Portugal debut and Brazil debut. I think everyone is looking
good night, man. And then I think if we're on Friday, it's every 2 days, and obviously England would have played just before we come on.
It'd be mad,
bro. Holland the Friday as well, isn't it? Is it Holland?
It's gonna be good, man. Yeah.
So Ilias could be getting a bit of shit, or he could be happy.
It will be a good one. Thanks again for your time, guys. Thanks for joining as well. If you enjoyed the show, smash the like button as well. Do not hesitate to send requests to discuss and join the show live with us. So just by clicking the button at the bottom of your screen, and yeah, follow those lads here on the network channels. We have Ty from Never Foul, Ilias from We Talk Ajax, Big Steve MCFC is everywhere. Paulo, you can see him on United View as well. Big up for this as well, by the way. Us Parisian Londoners. So yeah, have a good evening, boys, and enjoy the games of tomorrow. And on to the next one.
Perfect. Thank
you, guys.
Good night, boys. Good night.
Bye, guys.